Yo, what's good? Everyday Superpower signing in, where we talk about body language, non-verbal communication, and everything in between, okay? I don't know what I'm going to title this one. So, however way you've gotten to the video is however way you've gotten onto it, but we're going to talk about a minor detail, a minor signal, a great, subtle yet bold implementation you can add to your non-verbal communication arsenal. And that's your neck dimple, right? Personally, this place makes me cringe, man. It's a matter of life or death. Like this one evidently strikes me biologically as far as the consideration of it even being touched. It's absolutely horrible to me, but in a showcase of vulnerability, one may expose, and I'll talk to you why vulnerability is a good thing in this manner. We can expose the neck dimple. So this is a fleshy hollow area at the front of the neck. It's below the Adam's apple and it's just above and between the collarbone, okay? So when we are being powerful in business, we hide behind a covered neck, a concealed neck, if we want to be professional at least, and indicate power and indirectly sort of implement a defensive image to the world. Not only that, but we will somewhat replicate that within ourselves, purely as we are hiding behind this clothing fortress. So the collars come up around the neck, covering, like armor, the sensitive and potentially fatal neck areas given you were in conflict. Now, the tie itself in a suit is going to cover this neck dimple as to which we are speaking of, right? Stating we are defensive, we are not vulnerable. So in a dating situation, it might not necessarily be optimal unless she has a thing for men in ties and so forth, right? Which is another story completely. So to expose the neck dimple makes you submissive and vulnerable in a way as to which you're not overtly defensive. Now, on the flip side, there is a balance between the submission and the comfort factor, the vulnerability and the confidence, because you yourself are confident enough to expose this delicate area, showing the world you are not fearful, you are not scared. You are an animal, but you are not scared of being attacked, because you yourself are exposing yourself in a manner which shows self-assurance, given that it is such a sensitive, non-verbal characteristic. Exposing the throat is a statement of, I am harmless and you may approach me. So as far as dating is concerned, it's a great means of allowing women to approach you and approaching women, as you put yourself in a vulnerable space, quite literally biologically, in regards to the fact you may be attacked by her potentially. You're not approaching the woman in a defensive or offensive attitude or portrayal of self. Vulnerability is key. You're gonna hear people tell you when it comes to attraction and dating, you want to be all powerful, all dominant, and it's such a facade because that will only last for so long as you are only human. So vulnerability is a tool to be utilized in the face and in the fact of you actually being secure enough to be in that position, right? So how do I expose the dimple? Where you can wear a relatively low collar on your t-shirt, whether it be, you know, a size extra is what you're used to, or just a V-neck. I don't personally go for them myself, but some people look good in V-necks, right? Feel comfortable in V-necks, whatever you're comfortable in. Undoing the top couple of buttons on a button-down shirt. I mean, as far as women are concerned, the area tends to be out for show, from what I'm aware, when it comes to dresses and so forth. Exposing that natural vulnerability and femininity that good feminine clothing should, right? It enhances the female form and the female energy, enticing and attracting the masculine. To accentuate this area, one may wear a necklace, a chain that attracts eyes to this disarming area, creating a V beneath, an arrow of such leading down into the crevice. I mean, we're going to do a video in regards to colour psychology at a later date, but that necklace itself could not only emphasise the dimple, but also colour it. Literally and emotionally. With a supercharged tint of whatever colour pendant you wish to apply. To expose the neck dimple is to disarm, as you are showcasing a submittance to self. It lowers the power dynamic to a degree as to where you can stand on equal levels with those whom you are wanting to stand with. And given it's in a business context, you yourself as a man can play the submissive role respectfully and evidently. And as we've spoken of, playing that role is not only a necessity, but it's incredibly beneficial for whichever percent of your engagements and communications. When the shirt's collar raises and the neck is concealed, it enhances the thickness, and in doing so, amplifies the masculine value. So in a way, you could have the collar rising to the sides of the neck whilst the buttons are undone, not only exposing the dimple, but having this contrast between the vulnerable and the powerful. The overt and the covert. And that's me signing out. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's an incredibly powerful tool. Click subscribe.